Hi foodies, let's start making this delicious cheese bread. In the bowl, I have sifted all-purpose flour, but bread flour is ideal, so if you didn't run out like I did, use your bread flour. Then I'm adding sugar and salt. Of course, I need some yeast, and this is instant quick rise yeast, so I just add it right in there and whisk everything together. If you want the cheesy bread to have bits of cheese throughout, you could add a few pieces of shredded cheese right here and mix them in. Make sure they're coated well with the flour. Now I've attached the bowl to the mixer and I'm creating a well in the center. You can use your hands or a spoon to mix this. So if you don't have a mixer, not to worry, okay? Go ahead and still mix it with your hands or a spoon. It's just that you'll, need to do a little bit more work. So in the center, I'm pouring in some lukewarm milk and I'm gonna add beaten egg as well. Make sure your egg isn't cold. It should be at room temperature. Then I'm going to turn on the mixer to low speed. And while it's mixing, go ahead, use a spatula to push down the flour into the mixture. This is meant to be a very soft dough. So once it comes together like this and it's pulling away from the sides, you are going to stop it and then you're going to add some softened butter to the mixing bowl and then turn the mixer back on. If you're doing this by hand, then you want to open up that dough, put the softened butter in the center, fold it over, and then keep kneading. But I'm going to be doing the kneading with my mixer. It will look sticky. You'll be tempted to add a bunch of flour, but don't. Just keep kneading with your mixer or your hands. As you can see, guys, this is a very soft dough. All you need to do now is sprinkle some flour on a clean surface. Then you're going to pour out the dough right on there. And of course, if you're using your hands, keep kneading until the dough is smooth. And I just kneaded it for maybe a minute. All right, and it is nice and smooth at this point. So you just need to form a ball right now. And what we're going to do is allow this to rest in a greased bowl until it expands. So I put some oil in the bowl. And then I just, move this around to grease the top. And then we're gonna lay this into the bowl, cover it up with a damp towel or cling wrap, and let it rest for about 35 minutes. Remember, we used quick rise instant yeast, so this doesn't take 2 hours or more for it to expand. All right. So just go ahead, cover it up, and then you're going to allow it to just expand a bit. Then take it out. You're going to press into it just to get out those air bubbles. And then once it's in this circle, you're going to cut it into 6 pieces. I'm trying to make the cheese bread that I'm used to in Jamaica. It's usually on the bigger side, just a little bigger than a burger bun. So I'm just doing 6 pieces. But if you want these small, you could do them smaller. You just need to maybe bake them for a little less time or, keep your eyes on them. So for each piece, I'm just going to pinch it together because we're going to be forming some balls here. So pinch it together. Flatten it just a bit, and then keep going, keep shaping the others. Remember that if you're in a professional setting, you can use a scale to get all of these balls the exact same size, but I'm at home, so I'm not so fussy about that. Once you've shaped all of these, keep them covered with plastic wrap. So while you work on each cheese bread, make sure you cover the others so they don't dry out. All we need to do now is flatten this a bit, so you can use your fingers or you could use a rolling pin. However, you don't want this to be super thin because, of course, if it's super thin, then the filling is going to pierce through the dough. So here we go, we've flattened it, and I'm using Jamaican tasty cheese. If you're not familiar, this is a processed cheese. It's in a tin. It's not a very good melting cheese, so don't expect it to ooze out or stretch. But we love the flavor because most of us grew up on this cheese. So you put some in the center, and then you're gonna fold and pinch to bring this up together. Make sure you pinch it tightly and then smooth things out because you want to make sure the cheese doesn't fall out. Go ahead and reshape this into a ball and make sure that the underside is sealed properly. You can check again, pinch where you need to, and then roll it and smooth out everything. Once you've filled all of these, then you're going to lay them on parchment paper right on top of a baking sheet and then cover them up. Allow them to rest for at least 35 minutes. Then they're going to bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 15 to 20 minutes. But before we bake them, you can add some milk, some egg and milk. You can add water. I'm trying out some egg yolk and water today, just to give it that shine and a very light golden color. Usually I go with the whole egg and milk or the whole egg and water, but I'm trying just the yolk today. So straight into the oven we go. While the cheese bread is baking, we're going to make a simple glaze. In here I have warm water and warm butter. Mix everything together thoroughly. Then you're going to whisk in some sifted icing sugar. So this is very light. For my desserts, I do my thicker glaze, which I have the recipe on the channel here. This is very light. You might see a few lumps at first, but don't be discouraged. Just keep whisking it until everything is smooth. Once the cheese breads are done baking, then you're just gonna brush on that glaze all over. If you want it to cool down, that's fine, but these are best when they are nice and hot. Even if you want to put this in the fridge for the next day or the next couple days, please warm it up briefly in the microwave. It's better when it's warm. But look at how soft it is. Of course, the type of cheese we used, it's not a very stretchy, easy to melt cheese. It's very hot and tasty though, very delicious. So go ahead and use any cheese that you like in the center, but the flavor of this is just great. It reminds me of what I buy in Jamaica because it's so soft and it has that tasty cheese in the middle. So give this a try for lunch, a snack, or breakfast. You are gonna love it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.